All right, get this. Today we are diving headfirst into the Bootstrapper's Handbook by Peter Levels.
Okay.
This guy, he's like the real deal,
Mm-hmm.
building successful startups his own way, no corporate overlords, and you know what? He wants to show us how he did it.
Yeah, he's all about action, you know?
Yeah.
Not a lot of theory. It's all like battle-tested
Oh,
advice.
I love that. Straight from the trenches. This is someone who built Nomad List and Remote OK, so he's got to have some serious wisdom to share.
Oh, yeah, he really emphasizes like organic growth, working with limitations, and get this, solving your own problems.
Solving your own problems. I think I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And I bet our listeners are already thinking about what those problems are, right?
Yeah.
But it's more than just like, oh, this thing bugs me, let's fix it. Levels, there's gold mine in there?
Exactly. He says that those, there has to be a better way. Moments, that's where your best ideas come from because, hello, you're the expert on your own frustrations.
Right.
But here's the thing. Chances are someone else is frustrated by the exact same thing.
It's like that light bulb moment we all crave, but Levels doesn't just leave you with a light bulb. He's like, here's the blueprint to build the whole darn lamp.
Yeah.
He's all about finding that sweet spot, that micro niche where you can solve a specific problem for a specific group of people.
And this is where his multi-niche to vertical integration to platform strategy comes in, right?
Yeah.
Think of it like, I don't know, building a fish empire.
A fish empire. I like it.
You start by like dominating a small pond, right?
Yeah.
Becoming the go-to for, say, goldfish.
Okay, goldfish. Got it.
Then you go after those neighboring ponds, maybe koi, or those cool tetras.
Oh.
Boom, multi-niche, you got it.
Okay, so we've gone from goldfish to a whole aquarium empire. What's next?
So now you control the water, right?
Yeah.
So you become the only source for fish food, filters, tiny little scuba gear, vertical integration. You control the whole value chain.
Okay.
And then finally, you build this massive online marketplace, like a fish Amazon, where anyone can buy and sell anything fish-related, and you take a cut platform stage.
Wow, that's actually brilliant. And Levels didn't just make this up, right? He used this exact strategy to build Remote OK into this massive success story.
Oh, absolutely. He saw a need, like a black hole in the universe, for a better way to find and share remote jobs.
It was his own problem, right?
Exactly.
Like we were just saying.
Yep. And he capitalized on it, started small, focused on that organic growth we talked about, and bam, Remote Work Central was born.
Classic example of turning those constraints into advantages, which I know Levels is all about.
Oh, he is all about it. No money, no office. He's like, no problem.
I love that.
Limitations can actually make you more resourceful, more creative, and way more efficient.
It's like he's flipping the script on the whole, entrepreneur starter pack myth.
Exactly.
Okay, but there's one constraint he mentions that has me really curious. No coding skills.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a bold statement.
It is.
How can you even think about building a startup, especially in today's digital world, without knowing how to code?
Well, that's what I thought too. But Levels argues that, especially in those early stages, validating your idea and getting a functional product out there quickly is way more important than, writing perfectly elegant code.
Right.
He actually walks you through building a whole startup without writing a single line of code himself.
Seriously. All right, you have to tell us more about this because I bet our listeners are dying to know how you build a functional product, like an actual thing, without code.
Okay, so this is where Levels' resourcefulness really shines. He's like a digital MacGyver.
Like that.
He uses these existing tools, but in crazy, innovative ways.
Like what? Give us the inside scoop. What tools are we talking about here?
We're talking Typeform for building landing pages and capturing leads, Zapier for automating tasks based on what a user does, like, say, sending a welcome email when someone signs up, and good old Google Sheets for managing data.
Wait, are you serious? Those are tools almost anyone can access and learn.
Exactly.
It's like he's democratizing the whole startup scene.
Exactly. He's all about empowering those non-technical founders out there.
I love it.
But, it's not just knowing the tools. It's about how to connect them. Yeah. Levels shows you how to, piece them together, like digital duct tape,
Sure.
Creating a functional prototype without breaking a sweat.
Okay, I have to admit, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Building a prototype with digital duct tape. I love it. But what about the things that seem like you'd need code for? Like payments or making sure only my users can see certain parts of the product?
Yeah, you'd think you'd need some hardcore coding skills for that, right?
Right.
Levels has a hack for that, too.
Oh, does he ever?
He's all about using those third-party services, Like, Think Stripe for payments, for
Oh.
example. We're basically just plugging in these pre-built solutions so you can focus on the bigger picture.
So you're saying someone with zero, and I mean zero, coding experience, but a head full of ideas, can actually build a working prototype using these tools, test it out, get feedback, all without ever looking at a line of code.
That is exactly what I'm saying. Levels is all about speed.
Right.
He wants you to get your MVP, that's your minimum viable product, by the way, out into the world as quickly as humanly possible.
Right.
Validate, get that feedback, and iterate.
It's like he's removing all the excuses.
Right.
No time, no money, no code. Level's like, nope, not buying it. I've got you covered. Okay, so let's say I've got my MVP all duct taped together, ready to go. What's next? How do I unleash this masterpiece onto the world?
This is where Level's launch strategy comes in.
Okay.
And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It is not for the faint of heart.
Well, I bet.
He dives deep into launching on platforms like Product Hunt and Hacker News.
Yeah.
But he's very clear. It's tough, it's competitive, and you need a strategy.
Oh, absolutely. He does not sugarcoat it. It's like he's handing you a battle plan right down to the best time of day to hit that launch button.
Yes. He's big on timing, especially for Product Hunt.
Okay.
Those first few hours.
Yeah.
Crucial for getting traction.
Okay.
But it's more than just launching, though, right? You have to nail that messaging.
Oh, for sure.
For Hacker News, you've got to craft a headline that grabs those tech-savvy users.
Yeah.
Think problem solving, you know?
Yeah.
And like a bit more on the technical side.
It's like he's cracked the code on these platforms, right? He gets what makes them tick, and he's giving us all the insider tips. He also stresses being genuine too, though, right? Tell your story, why you built this thing, and don't be afraid to be human.
Oh, 100%. He's a huge advocate for, he calls it building in public, right? It's not enough to just build something awesome in your basement.
Right.
You got to bring people along for the ride.
I love that.
Document your journey online, share those wins and the fails, get feedback every step of the way.
It's like inviting people into your workshop. Show them the messy process, let them be a part of it, and you know what? I bet that vulnerability just builds trust.
Oh, absolutely.
And that can be priceless for a bootstrapper.
100%. And you know, this all plays into Level's whole philosophy of organic growth.
Oh, yeah.
He's not about those quick fix growth hacks or like buying your way to the top.
Right.
He really believes in building something that people genuinely love and then letting your users become your biggest fans.
It's a breath of fresh air. You know, in a world where everything is about hype and shortcuts.
I agree.
Levels is about building something sustainable with real value. And that brings us to the million-dollar question for a lot of bootstrappers. How do you turn those passionate users into a thriving, profitable business? That's the question, right? You've put in the blood, sweat, and tears, built something amazing.
Right.
But how do you actually see the rewards, especially without resorting to, like, plastering ads everywhere or, even worse, selling your users' data?
And this is where Level's experience is so valuable. He's not just a builder, this guy's a businessman too.
Right.
He breaks down all these different ways to make money, but he really focuses on two big things.
Okay.
Recurring revenue and that community-driven approach.
Recurring revenue, that's like the holy grail for so many entrepreneurs.
That's
like
it.
that predictable income, like clockwork.
Exactly. And Levels, he loves subscription models.
Okay.
He says they're not just about a steady paycheck, though.
Right.
They force you to keep delivering value so your subscribers actually stick around.
It's like built-in accountability.
Exactly. It's not a one-and-done deal.
Yeah.
You're building a relationship with your users.
So how do you get people excited about paying for something every single month, especially when there's so much free stuff out there?
Levels would say it's about creating something really special, a community, you know?
Okay.
It's that sense of belonging, giving them those exclusive benefits. You can't just Google.
Right.
He uses his own businesses as examples, you know, showing how he built these thriving communities around shared passions.
Right. Like remote work and a whole digital nomad thing.
Exactly.
And he's not afraid to, charge for access.
Nope.
He knows what he's built is valuable.
Yeah.
And building a sustainable business means charging what you're worth.
100%. He's challenging that whole online community should be free idea, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of refreshing.
It is.
But even with a solid game plan for making money, running a business can get overwhelming, even when you're bootstrapping it.
Yeah, for sure.
Did Levels have any tips for like managing that to-do list so you don't completely lose it?
And this, my friends, is where things get interesting.
Yeah.
Levels is obsessed with something I'm also a big fan of, automation.
Oh, yeah. He is all about it. He even calls them robots.
Uh-huh.
These automated processes and scripts, right?
Yeah.
That take over those tedious, repetitive tasks that would normally suck up your entire day.
Right, like sending emails, analyzing data, even posting on social media, all that stuff.
Exactly.
And let's be clear, this isn't about being lazy.
No,
It's about working smarter, not harder.
100%. Levels says that automation frees up your brain power so you can actually focus on the strategic stuff,
Yeah.
the creative work that you're uniquely good at.
Right, he actually gives a behind-the-scenes look at his own automation setup, which I think is awesome.
It's like he's handing you the keys to his productivity castle.
I love it. But he doesn't stop there, does he?
Nope.
He takes it even further and talks about building an autonomous organization.
Now that sounds like something straight out of sci-fi.
It really does. He's picturing these businesses that practically run themselves,
Wow.
with intelligent systems managing and optimizing everything.
I mean, I know we're not talking about robot overlords here,
Haha, not yet at least.
but still, it's a really interesting look into the future of work.
So we've covered a ton today.
We have.
We talked about finding your niche, building without even knowing how to code, launching like a pro, creating a community.
Don't forget automation.
Oh yeah, and automating the heck out of everything.
Uh,
If you had to pick, like, the most important thing to take away from the Bootstrapper's Handbook, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I think what makes Level's approach so powerful is it's not just about building a business, you know?
Okay.
It's about designing your ideal lifestyle.
Okay, I love that. It's about having the freedom to work on your own terms.
Yes.
When you want, where you want. No more being chained to a desk or answering to some boardroom.
Exactly. And his book gives you the tools to actually do that.
It's about taking control, right?
Yeah.
Building something you actually care about on your own terms
And creating a business that, like, fits into your life.
instead of the other way around, yeah.
Exactly.
He's not just changing how we think about entrepreneurship. He's changing how we define success.
Mm.
It's not about the money, the fancy titles. It's about autonomy, flexibility, living a life that you actually enjoy.
And that is really resonating with people,
It is.
especially now when everything is so blended.
Right.
Work, life, it's all mixed up. People want control. They want their work to mean something. And Levels shows them how to make that happen.
This book is a gold mine of
Yeah.
practical advice, but it's also incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you really think about your assumptions and realize maybe you actually can have it all.
It's a call to action, I think.
Yeah.
A challenge to break free and build something truly unique.
Yes.
Levels shows you you don't need a ton of money in MBA. You don't even need to know how to code to do something amazing.
You really don't.
You just need a good idea, the willingness to put in the work, and the guts to forge your own path.
So, to all our listeners out there, we ask you, what will you create? What incredible world-changing, life-affirming thing are you going to build? Because according to Peter Levels, and honestly, I'm starting to agree with him, the only limit is your imagination.
And who knows? Maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive on your book.
That's right. Yeah. All right, until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and as always, thanks for tuning in.